Ladies and gentlemen, how many times have you let someone else's opinion steer you off your path? How many times have you watered down your dreams, slowed down your pace, or hidden your true self, all because you were afraid of being judged or criticized? The truth is, in life, if you dare to dream big, if you dare to rise above average, if you dare to be yourself, you're going to face resistance. You're going to face criticism. You're going to face hate. And I'm here to tell you today, let them hate you, Doc. When people start to criticize or judge, it's often a strong indication that you're doing something significant. At first glance, hate or criticism can feel deeply personal and unsettling, but in truth, it's more often a sign of success, a signal that you're breaking through barriers and stepping into uncharted territory. There's a certain comfort that people find in the familiar and the predictable. When someone steps outside these boundaries, when they dream bigger, aim higher, or show greater ambition than others around them, it disrupts their comfort zone. And while the critics may say their words out of concern, jealousy, or fear, what they're really responding to is that shift in their understanding of what's possible. They see in you a drive or dedication that they haven't yet cultivated within themselves, and instead of feeling inspired by it, they feel threatened. Imagine a scenario where you're starting a new business or taking a bold step toward a personal goal. It's likely that people around you, friends, family, even strangers, may question your motives, and your motives doubt your abilities, or subtly or not so subtly suggest that you should play it safe. They may ask questions loaded with skepticism, like, are you sure you're ready for this, or do you really think this is a good idea? These questions, while often posed with a tone of concern, have an underlying skepticism that can feel discouraging. But if you're hearing these questions, it's actually a positive sign. It means that you're stepping outside of what's comfortable and normal for them, challenging their ideas about what's possible. You're showing a level of ambition or risk-taking that not everyone dares to reach. This disruption creates a natural resistance, which often manifests as criticism or judgment. We see this pattern play out throughout history. Take any groundbreaking figure, any person who has ever made a significant change in the world, and you'll find a chorus of doubters and critics in their story. From innovators in technology to pioneers in civil rights, nearly every one of them faced harsh criticism. Thomas Edison, one of the most prolific inventors, was once called a fraud by his peers because they didn't understand or appreciate the vision he had. Similarly, Rosa Parks faced ridicule and backlash for simply taking a stand and claiming her right to equal treatment. But they understood a crucial truth: criticism and judgment are often signs that you're stepping into greatness, pushing boundaries and challenging them to think differently. Hate and resistance are natural responses to change and innovation. The louder those voices become, the stronger the indication that you're making waves. Criticism, as uncomfortable as it may be, is often more about the critic than the one being criticized. People tend to respond with negativity when they feel their own values, beliefs, or limitations are being confronted. If you're striving for a goal that others feel is beyond them, it can cause feelings of jealousy or resentment. Your ambition becomes a mirror, reflecting their lack of ambition back at them. Instead of seeing your success as inspiration, they may feel threatened and react by attempting to pull you down. They may say things that belittle your dreams, not because they believe those things are true, but because your courage to chase something greater exposes their own unwillingness to do the same. In other words, hate often emerges not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're doing something right. You're moving forward while they remain stagnant. It's essential to learn how to separate constructive criticism from baseless negativity. Constructive criticism comes from a place of care and genuine interest in seeing you grow. It's meant to guide you, to help you consider different perspectives that you might have missed. But negativity, the type that comes from a place of jealousy or fear, serves no purpose other than to halt your progress and keep you grounded. Learning to distinguish between these types of feedback is a crucial skill in any journey towards success. Surround yourself with those who give advice to lift you up, not those who criticize to hold you back. The presence of hate can, therefore, be turned into a valuable tool. Instead of letting negativity sap your motivation, allow it to affirm that you're onto something valuable. Hate can become a reminder of your unique vision and your willingness to step outside of the boundaries that others stay confined within. When people try to diminish your dreams, remember that every great achievement in this world was once deemed impossible or unwise. If you're not hearing any skepticism, perhaps it's time to ask yourself if you're dreaming big enough. Because big dreams attract big reactions. Small dreams, on the other hand, hardly get noticed. One of the most empowering realizations is that other people's opinions don't dictate your worth or potential. Opinions are fleeting and subjective, often shaped by emotions and biases rather than facts. In the end, what matters most is how you feel about your journey, your goals, and your dedication to reaching them. Let others hold on to their doubts and judgments if they wish those don't have to define your reality. Remember, criticism often comes when someone else's worldview is being challenged. By following your path, you're not only striving toward your own success, but inspiring others, even those who may not support you, to rethink their own limits. And so let the hate come. Let it be a sign that you're on the right path. The strongest winds hit the tallest mountains, and the loudest critics often watch the boldest dreamers. As you continue to push toward your goals, remember that the journey itself is what makes you resilient and wise. Success doesn't just lie in the destination, it's built in every step you take despite the noise around you. Embrace the criticism, take pride in the resistance you encounter, and know that you're doing something that matters. When people criticize or judge, it's easy to take their words to heart and assume that there's something wrong with your goals, dreams, or even with who you are. But often the criticism and negativity thrown your way aren't about you at all. Instead, they reflect the insecurities, fears, and limitations of the person delivering them. Criticism, especially when it's negative and unconstructive, often serves as a mirror that reveals more about the critic than the one they are judging. Understanding this distinction is empowering. It allows you to see judgment for what it is: a reflection of the other person's mindset, not an accurate reflection of your worth or potential. People who have unfulfilled dreams or unresolved fears often project these feelings onto others, particularly onto those who are brave enough to pursue paths they didn't take or are unwilling to try. When someone doubts your goals or dismisses your dreams, it may be because they themselves don't believe they can accomplish the same thing. This can be rooted in their own experiences, regrets, or personal setbacks. Rather than confront these uncomfortable truths within themselves, they find it easier to criticize others. By questioning your dreams, they're actually reinforcing their own beliefs about their limitations. If they see you succeed at something they thought was impossible, it challenges their worldview and forces them to confront what might be holding them back. So instead of seeing your ambition as inspiring, they feel threatened, defensive, and sometimes even resentful. Take a common example: someone sets out to start a business, maybe leaving a stable job or investing a significant amount of time and energy into an idea. Friends, family, or even strangers might say, "Are you sure that's a wise move?" Or, "That seems really risky, maybe you should rethink it." While some of these comments may come from a genuine place of concern, more often they come from a place of personal fear. The people saying these things may be projecting their own anxieties about job security or financial risk. They wouldn't take that chance themselves, so they don't believe anyone else should either. By advising you to play it safe, they are inadvertently revealing their own fears rather than giving you a fair assessment of your potential. These kinds of comments can also come from envy. If someone feels that they don't have the courage to take the same risk you are taking, your actions might highlight that gap between you and them. They may feel that because they didn't pursue their passions or take a leap toward their dreams, they are safer or smarter, but seeing someone else daring to do what they didn't, especially when it starts to show success, can evoke a deep discomfort that sometimes manifests as criticism. Instead of acknowledging that they too might have missed opportunities out of fear, they try to bring others down to their level. In this way, judgment becomes a shield, a defense mechanism against facing their own regrets or insecurities. It's important to remember that our society is filled with unspoken rules and norms that people are conditioned to follow. When someone defies those norms, it shakes up others' ideas of what's normal or acceptable. People are often uncomfortable with those who break away from their expected path because it challenges their own decisions. This is particularly evident in cases where someone decides to leave a stable career to pursue something unconventional, like a creative passion, a startup, or a solo venture. Those who chose stability may look at that person and feel unsettled by the risk-taking. To justify their own decisions, they may try to undermine the one who is taking the leap by making negative comments, subtly suggesting failure. or openly expressing doubt. The person taking the leap has essentially stepped out of the box that others are still in. And for some, that can be very hard to witness. Another reason people may project their insecurities onto others is a psychological phenomenon called confirmation bias. This bias refers to people's tendency to interpret new information in a way that confirms their existing beliefs. If someone believes that pursuing a dream is too risky or that financial stability is the ultimate priority, they will find ways to interpret others' actions as misguided or irresponsible if they don't fit these beliefs. When someone close to them does something that contradicts these beliefs, it can create cognitive dissonance, an uncomfortable feeling caused by holding two conflicting ideas. To reduce this discomfort, they criticize or belittle the other person's choices, which allows them to maintain their original beliefs. In their mind, your daring goals become foolish pursuits because admitting otherwise would mean questioning their own choices. This is why understanding the motivations behind criticism can be a game changer. When you recognize that people's doubts, fears, or judgments are more about their internal struggles than about your abilities, you can begin to let go of the need for approval. You realize that their opinions do not reflect any limitations of your potential, only the limitations they placed on themselves. Criticism ceases to feel personal because you see it for what it is, a manifestation of others' own fears and insecurities. In some cases, people may even be unaware of how their words affect you. They might say something dismissive or discouraging without fully realizing that it stems from their own fears. But the effect is the same if you're not careful. These words can creep into your mind and make you doubt yourself. However, by reframing their criticism as a reflection of their limitations, not yours, you take back the power. You remind yourself that you're on your journey, not theirs. Their inability to see the potential in your dream does not diminish the value of that dream. Separating yourself from others' insecurities requires inner strength and conviction. You need to have a strong belief in your own goals, a clear vision of your path, and an understanding that not everyone will see things the way you do. And that's okay. Each of us has our own fears and experiences that shape our worldview, but letting someone else's fears limit your potential only holds you back. You owe it to yourself to pursue what matters to you, regardless of how others feel about it. So the next time someone tries to discourage you or make you doubt your ambitions, pause and consider where their criticism is coming from. Rather than feeling disheartened, try to see the judgment as a window into their own experiences, not as a measure of your worth. Remind yourself that if they can't understand your vision, it's not because your vision lacks value, but because it lies beyond the boundaries they've set for themselves. Your journey will be challenging and criticism will be part of that journey. But with each step forward, remember that you're moving in a direction they may never dare to go. Let them keep their insecurities. They are not yours to carry. And as you continue to follow your dreams, let their doubts and fears remind you of one thing: you are not limited by anyone else's beliefs. In a world that often rewards conformity, the desire for approval can be a powerful force, influencing our choices, limiting our potential, and at times even redefining who we are. Authenticity, being true to oneself and following one's own path, is a rare quality because it often comes at the cost of approval from others. It's human nature to seek acceptance, to want validation for our dreams, and to desire support as we venture into new territories. But when we prioritize approval over authenticity, we risk losing the very essence of who we are. We trade our dreams for the comfort of fitting in, our potential for the safety of staying within others' expectations. To truly thrive, we must learn to value authenticity over approval, pursuing our genuine interests, beliefs, and goals, even when they don't align with what others might expect or understand. Choosing authenticity means embracing who you are in all your uniqueness and moving forward with your dreams, even when those dreams don't fit the mold society has created. Authenticity is not about rebellion for the sake of rebellion. Rather, it's about aligning your actions with your values and living in a way that reflects your true self. This kind of self-alignment is crucial for long-term happiness and fulfillment. Studies have shown that people who live authentically experience greater life satisfaction and stronger mental well-being. When you live in a way that resonates with your true self, your sense of purpose is clearer and your path becomes more meaningful. But achieving this comes with a price. You may encounter resistance, skepticism, or judgment, especially from those who feel threatened or confused by someone daring to step outside the familiar. Many people feel compelled to live according to others' expectations, shaping their lives around societal norms or the opinions of friends, family, or even strangers. This phenomenon is especially common in cultures that emphasize collectivism, where individual ambitions are often suppressed in favor of the group's needs or societal expectations. Even in individualistic societies, however, people often conform to certain norms, choosing stable jobs, maintaining a particular lifestyle, or adhering to conventional timelines for major life milestones like marriage, career advancement, or parenthood. But following these paths simply to gain acceptance can lead to a life that feels hollow, unfulfilling, or incomplete. Authenticity requires the courage to go against the grain, to sometimes be misunderstood, and to face disapproval from others who may not understand or appreciate the path you're on. Pursuing authenticity over approval also means taking ownership of your unique talents and interests. Many people shy away from exploring their unique gifts because they worry about how others might perceive them. Perhaps you have a talent for art, a passion for writing, or a fascination with technology. But instead of pursuing these interests, you may feel pressured to choose a more conventional path, one that promises stability, predictability, or societal acceptance. The reality is that the people who leave the biggest marks on the world are often those who dare to embrace their uniqueness rather than suppress it. Artists, innovators, writers, and entrepreneurs rarely gain universal approval. Instead, they are often initially met with skepticism or criticism. But they continue forward because they recognize that staying true to their calling is more important than fitting in. By focusing on authenticity rather than approval, you create a life that's truly your own, grounded in your strengths, passions, and values. One of the greatest challenges of living authentically is learning to tolerate discomfort, the discomfort of others' opinions, of potential rejection, and of standing alone when necessary. Choosing authenticity over approval means accepting that not everyone will understand or support your decisions. Some may even oppose them strongly. For example, if you choose to take an unconventional career path, like becoming a writer, artist, or entrepreneur, some people may question your choice, expressing doubt or even ridicule. They might wonder why you didn't choose something safer or more practical. These questions can make you second-guess yourself, causing you to question whether you're doing the right thing. But when you let go of the need for approval, these opinions lose their power over you. Instead, they become background noise while your focus remains on the path that feels true to you. Learning to value authenticity over approval also fosters resilience. When you follow your own path, you inevitably face challenges, doubts, and perhaps even failures. But because you're pursuing something that truly matters to you, setbacks feel like temporary obstacles rather than dead ends. You become more willing to persevere, to push through difficulties, because you believe in what you're doing. Approval, by contrast, is fragile, it's conditional, and can disappear in an instant if people's opinions shift. If you're driven primarily by the need for approval, every criticism can feel like a devastating blow, potentially derailing your motivation. But when you're driven by authenticity, your motivation remains steady, grounded in something deeper and more meaningful than the changing opinions of others. Another benefit of choosing authenticity over approval is that it attracts the right people into your life. When you're authentic, the people who are meant to support and understand you naturally gravitate toward you. Relationships built on authenticity are deeper and more meaningful because they are based on genuine connection rather than pretense or convenience. In contrast, relationships built on a need for approval often feel shallow or insincere, as they're maintained by conforming to others' expectations rather than mutual understanding and respect. By living authentically, you open yourself to relationships that enrich your life and support your growth. Living authentically also sets a powerful example for others. When people see you embracing your true self and pursuing your unique path, it can inspire them to do the same. Authenticity has a ripple effect that encourages others to question their own choices and to consider whether they too might be living according to others' expectations rather than their own desires. By choosing authenticity over approval, you create a positive influence that can empower others to embrace their individuality and follow their own paths. Authenticity requires courage and a deep belief in oneself. It means being willing to be misunderstood or judged, to face setbacks without wavering, and to prioritize your own sense of fulfillment over the fleeting approval of others. In a world that constantly pushes for conformity, staying true to yourself is an act of bravery. It is a commitment to live a life that reflects your true values and aspirations rather than what others deem acceptable or normal. Choosing authenticity over approval is a journey, one that may be challenging at times, but ultimately leads to a life that feels deeply meaningful and satisfying. When you prioritize your own truth, you find a sense of freedom that is unshakable, a purpose that is unwavering, and a happiness that is resilient. This path may not always be easy, but it is one that promises a life rich in meaning, purpose, and self-respect. And in the end, living authentically is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, living fully as who you are, unburdened by the weight of others' expectations. When people criticize or doubt your choices, it's tempting to let their negativity weigh you down. But what if you could transform that doubt and negativity into a source of fuel, a powerful force that motivates and strengthens your resolve? Using hate or criticism as fuel can be one of the most empowering strategies in pursuing your goals, as it allows you to take what is meant to discourage and turn it into something that propels you forward. Rather than being deterred by negativity, you can reframe it as a form of validation, proof that you are daring to do something significant and worthwhile. Criticism, especially when it's harsh or baseless, becomes a sign that you are stepping outside of what's comfortable or familiar for others. In this way, negativity doesn't have to weaken your spirit, it can actually fortify it, reminding you why you started and how much further you're willing to go. Turning negativity into motivation starts with reframing how you view criticism. When people criticize, they often reveal more about their limitations than yours. Their doubt may stem from their own fears of failure or insecurity about taking risks, so they project those feelings onto others. Once you recognize that criticism often reflects the critic's mindset rather than an objective assessment of your abilities, it loses much of its sting. Instead of internalizing their doubt, you can use it as a reminder that you are willing to do what they might be too afraid to try. Think of it as an affirmation of your courage to step into the unknown. The very fact that people are reacting with doubt or negativity can indicate that you're pursuing something bold, something that shakes up their expectations and disrupts the status quo. It's a sign that you're standing out, doing something original and daring. The key to using criticism as fuel is to let it sharpen your focus and deepen your resolve. When people question or belittle your goals, it's natural to feel a spark of frustration or even anger. Rather than letting those emotions simmer and lead to self-doubt, channel that energy into your work. For instance, if someone tells you that your goals are unrealistic or your efforts are a waste of time, use that frustration as motivation to prove them wrong. This doesn't mean you're acting out of spite. Instead, it means you're committed to your goals regardless of their opinions. Think of it like an athlete training harder after being underestimated or a student studying longer to outperform expectations. That spark of negativity can be transformed into a burning desire to excel, to rise above the limitations others try to impose on you. Throughout history, some of the most successful individuals have faced enormous criticism and doubt before achieving greatness. Take, for example, Walt Disney, who was told he lacked creativity and fired from an early job at a newspaper. Or J.K. Rowling, who was rejected by multiple publishers before her first Harry Potter book was accepted. These figures took the doubt and rejection they faced and used it to fuel their determination. Had they let others' negativity discourage them, they might never have reached the levels of success they eventually achieved. Instead, they used that doubt as a catalyst, a reminder that only they could define the limits of their potential. They saw each rejection or criticism as a stepping stone, something to build on rather than a roadblock. This mindset is powerful. It allows you to see challenges and criticism as opportunities for growth and validation of your commitment. Another benefit of using negativity as fuel is that it strengthens your resilience. When you face criticism head-on and choose to interpret it as motivation, you become better equipped to handle future setbacks. Criticism no longer feels as personal or defeating because you've trained yourself to see it differently. Instead of feeling crushed by negative comments or doubtful voices, you start to feel energized by them. Each negative remark becomes an opportunity to test and prove your strength, making you more resilient in the face of adversity. This kind of resilience is invaluable in any journey, as it means that setbacks no longer feel like endings, but merely pauses in the journey where you gather strength to push forward even harder. In the world of sports, for instance, many athletes speak about how they use criticism to push themselves. When fans, analysts, or even teammates doubt their abilities, they often respond by training harder, pushing their limits, and dedicating themselves to proving that they are capable of more. They visualize their critics when they feel like giving up, using those voices as a mental barrier to break through. This strategy doesn't only apply to athletes. Anyone with a goal or dream can apply it. By choosing to interpret negativity as a challenge, you become your own biggest supporter, giving yourself the motivation and encouragement to keep moving forward. In essence, you develop an internal drive that is unshaken by external due. Of course, using negativity as fuel doesn't mean that you should constantly seek out criticism or surround yourself with negative influences. Rather, it's about learning to reinterpret the criticism that inevitably comes your way. When someone doubts your abilities or criticizes your choices, take a moment to acknowledge their perspective, but don't let it define you. Instead, let it serve as a reminder of your inner strength and determination. You don't need their approval, nor do you need to justify yourself to them. Their doubts are theirs to hold on to. Your belief in yourself is what matters most. By focusing on this inner belief, you maintain control over your journey, allowing no one but yourself to dictate your path. This approach also helps you build confidence over time. Each time you use criticism as fuel, you're affirming to yourself that you are capable and resilient. Over time, this mindset becomes a core part of who you are, reinforcing your sense of self and your confidence in your abilities. Rather than avoiding challenges or fearing criticism, you begin to welcome them, seeing them as opportunities to test and showcase your resolve. This self-assurance is incredibly empowering. It's no longer about proving others wrong, but about proving yourself right, affirming your belief in your potential and your commitment to your goals. Criticism can become one of the most valuable motivators if you choose to let it be. Each time someone doubts you, each time a negative comment comes your way, remind yourself that you are on your journey, not theirs. Their opinions are a reflection of their own experiences and limitations, not yours. Use their negativity as a reminder of how far you're willing to go to achieve your dreams, a reminder that you're resilient, capable, and driven. When you make negativity work for you, you take a tool that could weaken most people and turn it into your greatest asset. When you're striving for something big, whether it's a career goal, a personal milestone, or a dream you've had for years, it's almost inevitable that you'll face doubts, roadblocks, and setbacks. These challenges are simply part of the journey. But one of the most powerful strategies you can adopt is to stay laser focused on your goals, regardless of who is watching, applauding, or criticizing. True commitment to your dreams means you're not performing for an audience or hoping for external validation. Instead, you're moving forward because the vision you have is worth pursuing for its own sake. Staying focused on your goals, despite what others may think or say, allows you to preserve your energy, refine your skills, and build the resilience needed to bring your dreams to life. When you choose to keep your focus on your goals, you cultivate an internal drive that's less vulnerable to the changing opinions of others. Opinions are often inconsistent. One moment, people may support you, and the next they might question your decisions. If you let these opinions shape your journey, your path will be a zigzag, constantly shifting to accommodate others' thoughts. But by keeping your focus on your goals, you develop a steady, unwavering sense of direction. Think of it like a compass. No matter which way the wind blows, you stay oriented toward your goal. This gives you a stability that allows you to navigate challenges without being thrown off course. The drive to succeed comes from within, and this intrinsic motivation becomes your most valuable asset. With it, you're able to withstand setbacks, rejections, and even failures because you're pursuing something meaningful to you, not just something that gains the approval of others. Staying focused also helps you maintain clarity about what's important. In the pursuit of big goals, distractions are everywhere. Sometimes these distractions come from well-meaning friends or family members who suggest alternate paths or share their own opinions on what you should be doing. Other times they come in the form of self-doubt or the lure of short-term comfort. Social media comparison and peer pressure can also be huge distractions, making you question your decisions or tempting you to seek validation. By staying focused, you remind yourself daily why you started on this path and what you're working toward. When you revisit your why regularly, it becomes easier to stay on track and ignore the noise around you. The stronger your focus, the less likely you are to be swayed by distractions, and the clearer your path becomes. Focusing on your own goals without being swayed by others' expectations can be challenging but deeply rewarding. Many people feel pressure to achieve milestones that align with societal norms or the expectations of those around them. These expectations can often make us feel like we need to hurry, take shortcuts, or adjust our goals to fit what others deem acceptable or impressive. However, this approach rarely brings lasting fulfillment. True satisfaction comes from following your own path and achieving goals that are meaningful to you personally, not goals that exist to please others. When you set out to pursue something that is authentically yours, your progress may not always look like what others expect, and that's okay. The key is to stay committed to your unique journey, understanding that it may not always fit the mold others have in mind. One of the greatest advantages of focusing on your goals is that it builds resilience. When you're committed to a goal for your own reasons, setbacks feel less defeating. You understand that obstacles are just part of the journey, not a reason to quit. When challenges arise, you don't feel the need to prove anything to anyone but yourself, which keeps you grounded and driven. For example, consider an entrepreneur working tirelessly to launch a new business. If their focus is truly on building something meaningful, they're more likely to stay resilient in the face of obstacles like financial difficulties or market rejections. Their commitment to their vision keeps them going, even if others doubt them or question the viability of their idea. In contrast, if they were primarily motivated by external approval, every setback could feel like a validation of others' doubts, making it harder to push through tough times. With a clear focus on a goal, you become better equipped to handle adversity, knowing that your commitment isn't contingent on outside praise or validation. Focusing on your goals also allows you to develop the skills and knowledge necessary to succeed. When you're not constantly looking for approval or comparing yourself to others, you have more mental energy to dedicate to learning, improving, and growing. Each step of the journey becomes an opportunity to refine your abilities, deepen your understanding, and gain valuable experience. Instead of trying to impress others along the way, you're able to immerse yourself in the process, truly mastering the skills that will bring you closer to your goals. Over time, this dedication and focus pay off as you find yourself more competent, capable, and confident. Rather than rushing to meet arbitrary deadlines or benchmarks, you focus on quality and growth, knowing that every step is bringing you closer to where you want to be. Moreover, staying focused on your goals helps you build authenticity in your achievements. When you're not concerned with proving yourself to others, your successes feel more genuine and meaningful. You're not just meeting expectations, you're creating a life that aligns with your true self. This authenticity can be incredibly fulfilling as it allows you to look back on your journey with pride, knowing that every accomplishment was earned for the right reasons. This approach also inspires others. When people see someone pursuing a goal with genuine commitment and focus, it often motivates them to do the same, rather than achieving something for the applause. You become a role model simply by staying true to your values and demonstrating what it means to be driven by purpose rather than praise. Another benefit of focusing on your own goals is that it allows you to measure success on your own terms. Success isn't a one-size-fits-all concept. It's deeply personal and varies from person to person to person. When you focus on your goals, you get to define what success looks like for you. Maybe it's financial freedom, creative fulfillment, making a positive impact, or simply achieving personal growth. By setting your own standards, you avoid the trap of comparing yourself to others or feeling pressure to meet goals that don't resonate with you. You have the freedom to progress at your own pace, make decisions that align with your values, and build a life that genuinely reflects what matters most to you. In the end, this leads to a more fulfilling and rewarding journey as you're pursuing goals that feel true to you. In a world that often emphasizes competition, comparison, and external validation, staying focused on your goals can feel like an act of rebellion. But it's also one of the most empowering choices you can make. By committing to your vision and staying on your path, regardless of others' opinions, you're setting yourself up for a life that is genuinely satisfying and meaningful. You're building resilience, developing your unique skills, and creating a legacy of authenticity. So remember, your journey is yours alone. You don't need an audience or applause to validate your efforts. The true measure of success is how you feel about the journey you're on, the progress you're making, and the person you're becoming along the way. As you work towards your goals and stay true to your path, one of the most powerful realizations you can have is that success is truly the best response to doubt, criticism, and negativity. Rather than trying to convince others of your worth, it's far more effective to let your achievements speak for themselves. Success becomes a testament to your hard work, resilience, and commitment qualities that don't require explanation. When you channel your energy into achieving your goals instead of responding to doubters, you shift the focus back to what truly matters: your progress, growth, and fulfillment. Success, in its most genuine form, is the quiet but undeniable proof of what you're capable of, regardless of the noise around you. When people criticize or doubt you, it's easy to feel a knee-jerk reaction to defend yourself, explain your choices, or attempt to persuade them to see things from your perspective. But responding to negativity often takes valuable time and energy that could be better invested in your work. Engaging with critics doesn't necessarily change their opinions, and it rarely helps you move closer to your goals. By choosing to focus on your own progress and letting your achievements speak, you're allowing your success to be the ultimate response. Actions, after all, speak louder than words. When others witness your accomplishments firsthand, there's little left to question or criticize. Success brings with it a level of credibility that words alone can't achieve, making it a powerful statement to those who may have once doubted you. Success also acts as a form of self-validation, building confidence and a sense of fulfillment that comes from within. When you achieve something meaningful, you experience a deep sense of satisfaction that doesn't rely on external praise or approval. This inner confidence makes you less vulnerable to negativity in the first place. As you see your hard work yielding results, you start to trust yourself more, making it easier to tune out criticism and focus on your next steps. Each milestone becomes a reminder of your capabilities, reinforcing your resilience and dedication. By allowing your success to validate your journey, you become more self-assured and motivated to keep pushing forward, knowing that your efforts will continue to yield positive results. Furthermore, success as a response to negativity is a strategic move. Critics often doubt you because they can't see your vision or don't understand your goals. Instead of trying to explain or justify yourself, focusing on success allows you to make your goals a reality, turning your vision into something tangible that even skeptics can't ignore. When you succeed, your achievements become undeniable proof of your potential, transforming doubt into admiration or respect. People who may have once questioned your choices often find themselves impressed by your determination and results. This shift in perspective happens naturally as they witness your progress, without you needing to convince them along the way. Success brings a level of visibility and legitimacy that explanations and justifications simply can't match. Using success as a response to doubt also builds resilience. When you channel your energy into achieving your goals rather than responding to critics, you learn to let go of the need for approval. This shift in focus builds mental strength, teaching you to stay committed and confident in your vision, regardless of external opinions. Over time, this approach cultivates a quiet resilience and inner resolve that doesn't waver in the face of doubt or negativity. Instead of being reactive to criticism, you become proactive in your work, focusing on what you can control: your actions, decisions, and progress. This resilience not only helps you handle criticism more effectively, but also prepares you to tackle future challenges with a sense of purpose and determination that isn't easily shaken by the opinions of others. When you allow success to be your response, you also become a role model for others. Your achievements demonstrate the power of perseverance, commitment, and self-belief. People who may have faced similar doubts or criticism in their own lives can look to your journey as proof that it's possible to rise above negativity and create something meaningful. By showing what's possible, you encourage others to pursue their goals without fear of judgment or doubt. Your success becomes a source of inspiration, not only proving your own resilience, but also inspiring those who may be struggling with their own challenges. When people see the tangible results of your dedication, they often find motivation to embrace their own paths with greater confidence, inspired by your example. Additionally, success as a response to criticism can foster positive change in the way people perceive your goals or industry. In many cases, people are critical or skeptical because they don't understand the value of what you're trying to achieve. By succeeding, you bring visibility to your field or passion, helping others recognize its importance or potential. Think of entrepreneurs who start businesses in emerging industries, often facing skepticism because their ventures don't align with traditional career paths. When they succeed, they don't just prove their personal capabilities, they also highlight the legitimacy and potential of their field, inspiring others to explore similar paths. Success in this context has a ripple effect, shifting people's perceptions and encouraging more openness to new ideas and possibilities. It's also worth noting that success as a response to criticism offers a sense of closure and peace. When you've achieved something you're proud of, the opinions of critics naturally fade into the background. You no longer feel a need to prove yourself or revisit past doubts because your accomplishments are tangible proof of your capabilities. The negativity you once faced becomes irrelevant, overshadowed by the pride and satisfaction of achieving your goals. This sense of closure frees you from the weight of past criticism, allowing you to move forward with a renewed sense of purpose and confidence. By letting success speak for itself, you give yourself the freedom to focus on new goals, dreams, and aspirations without being held back by the need for approval or validation. In a practical sense, letting success be your response allows you to maintain momentum and focus on growth. When you're not sidetracked by the urge to respond to every doubter, you're able to dedicate your full energy to your work. This focus leads to more consistent progress, faster learning, and continuous improvement. Instead of diverting attention to criticism, you remain laser-focused on your goals, propelling yourself forward and building a foundation for future success. This sustained focus not only leads to greater achievements, but also helps you establish a reputation as someone who is dedicated, reliable, and driven by results rather than validation. Success is the best answer because it's grounded in action rather than words. It demonstrates a commitment to your goals that goes beyond approval or praise. By allowing your accomplishments to speak, you establish a legacy built on results, not opinions. A success becomes a reflection of your inner strength, your dedication, and your belief in yourself. It shows that despite the doubt or criticism you may have faced, you stayed true to your vision and created something meaningful. This approach doesn't just silence critics, it empowers you to live a life defined by purpose, resilience, and self-fulfillment. Success in this sense isn't just about reaching a goal, it's about proving to yourself and others that you have the power to shape your future on your own terms.